Alright, welcome at this tutorial of the software iQMetrix. This is a software for task-based image quality assessment, and mainly it is used for CT images for analyzing phantoms. One of the phantoms that will be analyzed is the ACR phantom. This is roughly how it looks like. It has like 4 different modules, and we'll be using the module 1 and 3 for the analysis, and this analysis will be done into iQMetrix. But first, iQMetrix is developed by France Society of Medical Physicists. So yes, thank you for developing this tool. And with no further ado, let us start with downloading the software. Alright, what is important? Of course, you can read through all of this. What is important is that when you download the software, make sure that you have the matching versions of MATLAB. For example, if you download 220 runtime, make sure you download the version 1.0. If you're downloading to 2020, then make sure you download the version 1.1. If you mix them up, then iQMetrix will not run, and I know that from first-hand experience. Alright, let's first download the prerequisites. Alright, let's do this is fine. United States English. Let's see. So they mentioned 228. So I'm on a Windows system, so I will download this one. Alright, what I always like to do is I go to my drive E. Alright, let's make a new directory. Let's call it Z software iQMetrix. Alright, enter, open it, store it in here, and now it is running. This takes roughly 7 minutes. I will keep the recording up, and probably I will cut down some part of the recording, so we don't need to wait all this time. Alright, welcome back. Let us start with downloading the rest. So opening the MATLAB directory we just downloaded, and unpack everything. So make sure you unpack everything. This is denoted in Dutch, so make sure that you unpack everything. Make sure you store it at the same directory that we just created, and then unpack everything. At the top part, I am downloading some ACR data, so we can use them later on for the analysis. And at the bottom, you can see that we are unpacking the just downloaded MATLAB prerequisites. This takes roughly 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I will be back when the downloading part of this one is again finished. So see you then. Alright, we are back. I believe everything, well, the file that we wanted to download is finally finished. This is the file that we wanted to download. We can open it. Seems fine. Where is it? Alright, next. Yes, next. Assembling product list. Alright. Assembling product list. Maybe I will cut this part out too. I don't know how long this will take. Alright. Alright, again, browse. Important to do it in the same file as we just stored the other one as well. Alright, select matrix. Alright, next. Matrix V912. That is fine. Product MATLAB runtime 912. That's fine. H**. Alright. Alright, here we goes. Let's first wait that I see a 0 or it becomes a 1. Then at least we know that it's starting. Let me see. Matrix E92. Come on, come on. Yes, we see a 2. Alright, and 3. Alright. So for now, again, we will wait till it hit 100% again. And after it hits the 100%, then we will reconvene with this tutorial. Alright, I will see you soon. Alright, welcome back, welcome back. We're almost there. I know it takes a while to install, but believe me, it will be worth the wait when you finally are able to make the analysis with iQMetrix. Alright, just wait a couple more minutes for the installation to finish. Alright, finish. Alright, so this is the file we just downloaded, the V912. This is all good. These are the extensions we needed. Alright, so we're almost done. We still need to download one more thing. That is when we get back in here. Keep in mind what we downloaded was software iQMetrix. We download the runtime 2022A. Keep it in mind. So we downloaded 2022A. So we get the so we need to have the version 1.1 of iQMetrix. That one can be found over here at releases. So you can see this one 1.1. Make sure you select Windows or Mac, which one you have downloaded before. But since I downloaded the Windows one, we are going to use that one again. So open this one again. Make sure that you store it exactly at the same location as all the other files. So in this directory we just created in the beginning of this tutorial. Save. It has been saved. Open it up. Alright, let's unpack this file again. Unpack everything. Again, same location. Unpack. This should be yes. Alright. iQMetrix, Windows. Alright, open it. This opens another file. And in here, we find iQMetrix. Alright, so a little bit protection about the PC. I will still execute it anyways. Right, if you see this means you finally installed iQMetrix. From save all this clicking when you want to reopen iQMetrix again. What I like to do is I like to make a shortcut. I don't see it right now. Let me see it again. Yes, add a shortcut. And I don't know what this is, but I guess replace it. Alright, and there it is. There is our shortcut for iQMetrix in case you want to reopen iQMetrix again. So now you finally installed iQMetrix, so congratulations. Is it opening again? Not yet. Alright, welcome back. Let us start with the iQMetrix tutorial. So finally you downloaded all the part of iQMetrix, so we can start. Make sure this one is selected in English or French. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a configuration file or a JSON file to be more specific. Right, in this tutorial the focus lies on doing the data analysis on the ACR 464 Phantom as showed in the beginning. So that is what we will be doing. So select the image directory. Often you want the image directory that you're going to use to create a JSON file to be a scan with a very high dose. This is extremely important for the TTF analysis, but I will come back to this later in the tutorial. Let me see, ACR Phantom data. But for this we can select now, because we're now going to the NPS analysis, you can select the conventional 40 MOS image directory. Wait, maybe it's a good idea to show how that file actually looks like. Let me go back to the ACR. So this is the file that we just selected. If I open this file, in here are all the images of all the scans. See, this here are all the slices. These are, I believe, 335 slices. And as you can see, very good to remember, is that there are no extra or different files in here. That is very important, because the moment you do the analysis, the NPS or TTF analysis, or detectability analysis, you will start seeing files up in here in the individual scans. But that is something I will show to you later on as well. So we selected this file for the JSON file. Alright, so we'll display the images. Alright, let's put a nice window level. let's say, oh, it's a little bit slow today. Yes. All right. So now we can show the phantom. All right. For this part, we're going to do the NPS analysis. So we'll be selecting NPS. Make sure NPS is selected. For analysis on the NPS part, we will use the following module as shown before. So the NPS will be based on module 3 of the ACR phantom. That's what we are going to do. All right. There is a very important part somewhere here in the slice. Let me see. Can I do differently? Let me see. All right. Should be changing right now. All right. I want to show it. Where is it? Let's miss it. There are 2 of these beats in this module, module 3. Yes, right there. That's what I needed. Right here. In here you see 2 beats. When we're going to do this analysis, these are the slices that we basically want to skip. So to skip like slices, you can use the option in here in iQMetrix which is split. By doing this, you're able to select 2 parts of slices. And we're going to use the following slices. Let me see. This is the NPS calculation of the scan. Which scan did I use? These are the slides that we're going to use for the analysis. Let me just copy and paste them right in. Alright, the other one as well. These numbers of course depend on your own scan and on your own analysis. But I will show what I mean with that part. When picking these slices, make sure that you leave some space, some slices extra. So when you select the slices, definitely make sure that these beats are not in there, and also not a little bit. So take out these slices and maybe plus like 1 or 3 slices more to be sure that there is no other influence on the other slices. Same counts for the beginning of these slices. When selecting the slices and when putting them in iQMetrix, it is very important that you put let me check this. There is something stated about that part when inputting the numbers. It is in here that the numerical value of the start position must be less than the numerical value of the end position. Basically meaning when you start with the lowest number. As you can see right here. Same thing here. Start with the lowest number. That is something that should be taken into consideration right here. All right, so we're going to continue with the analysis. All right, did I select that number? Yes, I did. Then I'm going to use this number. All right, and select this number. After we are done selecting, I believe, right, we can validate it, and this should show again. So this shows again our selection, so selection of our slices. And now you have to move it. You can go through this a little bit to make sure that you have no different modules again of the ACR phantom, but you only have module 3, where we're going to do the NPS analysis. So after this is done, you can make sure that the red part fits. Let me see. Oh, that's not good. Let me put it out a little bit of the window. Right, like this. Make sure that the red circle fits the phantom. After you're done with doing this, then select validate. Alright, so now it shows 4 rows. You can select which settings you prefer to use. For now, these settings are fine. Now we're going to save the NPS JSON file. I like to save the file in the same file with all of the other scans. So select here. So the JSON files will be selected in the ACR directory. So along all of the other directory scans. That's also something very important to keep in mind. So I will show you where the file is saved. You can see, no, also not. Finally in here. So in here, in the clean spectral, no, also not it. Let me see, where is it? Yes, in ACR phantom data, in the ACR. Yes, and in here, at the bottom, yes, there it is. There finally is the NPS JSON file. This file is needed to make the actual analysis. And so we'll be doing that right now. Let me see, we saved the file already. So this one, we can remove this one. So now we select NPS to start the analysis. So now we will select the phantom file we just created, the JSON file, the NPS file. But first, you can either do this analysis for an individual file, or you can do this analysis for a whole batch of files. But let's now start with like an individual file to get a certain idea of how iQMetrix actually work. Right, so go to data. So now you have to again track down the JSON file. Let me see where it was. In here and all the way down. There it is. Select the NPS file, open it. Right now, open directory. This basically means the scan you want to open to do the scan. It does not necessarily need to be this scan. It can also be a different one. We can select this scan, for example. So we use this scan to create the JSON file. And now we'll be using this scan to create the NPS analysis. Alright, start by clicking that file. Alright, so wait a little bit till it runs and till this red part. Please wait till that one is not showing anymore. Then you know that you can start with the next step. This should not take that long. Take a couple of minutes. And yes, everything ok. This means everything is fine. This means we can start with the next step. So here you can select a couple of parameters. I prefer, or you can use data from fit and the 11th order polynomial. What you can also do is press here display. This is also nice. This basically shows the squares, the rows that are going to be used to calculate the noise actually is based on a JSON file. And the ACR phantom, so the phantom right here, what you see in gray, is now based on the mono E70 kilo electron volt file. So that is nice to know, and I will show you later on why this is important. So imagine if you use batch mode, what you could sometimes see, what is important to remember, is that when you make all the scans, you need to make sure that the ACR phantom has been located at the same position for every scan. If you don't, then this phantom right here might move to the right or to the left or in the other direction, and then the ROIs will not match what you intended to be the region where you wanted to calculate the NPS or where you wanted to calculate the noise. And I will show you why that is important. So everything here looks fine. Then you calculate it. Did I press calculate? Maybe I have to do something. Yes, now it's calculating. Please wait again. When it shows something with log something, then you know that the calculation has been finished. So we have to wait a little bit for this again. The results are saved. Ok. You can also turn off autosave only for the individual files. And here are our results of the NPS. So we have the raw data and the data that fits, and some additional information. So this is basically how you do an NPS analysis. If you want to do the same thing, you can, for multiple files, you can do the following. But before you do this, let me see. Let me do batch mode on. So you see autosave is automatically on. You again have to select the NPS file, open it up. Alright, open directories. Let me see. So I select one file, I press Ctrl at the same time, and this enables me to select more files. So now I can do the analysis with multiple files. I can also use Ctrl A to select all the files, but in this case I just need a couple of them to show you, to give you an idea. So I'll run this, then I will open it. So now I selected all those directories, all those files. Now I'll do the same thing, calculate NPS. Now we'll open up that file, ACR phantom data. Alright, it's doing them from a 1 out of 5. Alright, so this takes a little while to run. Then in the meantime I can show you something. Remember the file we just used to calculate the NPS? That was the mono 70 file. If we select that one, it was a different file. Yes, this is what I mean. What you see right here, this was not there before. After every analysis, you will see this as well. Either if you do it individually or if you do it in batch mode. You will always see these files in the individual scan. So after this one has been done, maybe I can show it for this file ready for the conversion of 40 MOS, or for this one, the mono E40. That's this file we just selected. As you can see, also in here there are some additional files because of the calculation we have done. And you're wondering then why is this important? Why is this happening? You need these files where you want to calculate the detectability index. Later on you will do the NPS analysis. After the NPS you will do the TTF analysis. That's also something I want to show after this. And after you have done both of these analyses, then you can run the detectability analysis, and it will be based on the individual files that are just being put in there by iQMetrix. But in addition to these individual files, you will also get a summary Excel file based on the images that you selected. Let me see. Maybe I can run iQMetrix again. When you have to run a lot of data, for example, you have to run the NPS and the JSON file. Sometimes it's possible to open up another iQMetrix, then already create the JSON file in the meantime to save some time. So that's the same thing what we're going to do. I will let that one run in the background. Alright, so now I will create the JSON file for the, yes, alright, well it's done. Alright, so now you see logs, so please wait isn't there anymore, so you see log. So now I will show you again the data, and I will show you what I mean. So let us select the mono 45, and again you see the individual files in here. Alright, now let us look at the file that we want to see. This is the file we want to have. This is basically a summary of all the graphs, all the data of all the other files. We can open it up. So you see here a summary of all the additional information. You see over here sheet 2, which is the NPS raw data. And then you see here sheet 3. This is basically like the red line, the data fit. This is a very nice data. You can either plot this data in Excel, or you can use different software to plot the data as well, for example Python. So this is basically the data you get out of the NPS analysis. Alright, I think we can start with something else. Instead we can start with a TTF. So let's start with again manage config file and phantom. So now we again select the ACR 464 phantom and select image directory. Alright, so something that is very important right now is that you get a scan with a high dose. And I will show you why it's important. Let's select this again the conventional 40 mus as we did before with the NPS analysis, but now for the TTF analysis. So we open it up. Let us wait a little bit. Let me see. All right. And this is the. Make sure you select TTF and not NPS. So TTF is selected. So now we're going to calculate TTF. The TTF is based on module 1. As you can see, you have 4 inserts over here. When you look at this image, there is something that you will notice. So you see here polyethylene, bone here. So bone is on the right, air is on the right, acrylic is on the left, and polyethylene is also on the left. For this example, we will calculate acrylic one. Let us select some slices. First, display image. Alright, soft tissue. Alright, so module 1. This is module 1. And we want to calculate the acrylic insert. So we want to calculate this insert over here. That's the acrylic one. But there is something very important to always check with your analysis. You should ask yourself, how does air look like on a CT scan and how does bone look like on a CT scan? What you do know is that bone has a very high Hounsfield unit, means it is going to appear very bright and white on a CT image. So therefore this one right here, this insert is bone. And air has a very low Hounsfield unit and therefore it will appear very dark or black on a CT scan. So therefore this one looks like air and is air. So what you see with this scan is that the image has been flipped around the y-axis. That is something very important to note. This might also be happening with your analysis. Always check how is your phantom depicted when you open it up. Always check how is your image displayed. Always to make sure to select the correct insert. So we're going to use module 1. And right now, which slices am I planning to use? Of course, the use of the slices, which slice you're going to use, it depends on your analysis. But in my case, these values are going to be TTF calculation. Where are the slices? Right here. Select them in bold. Alright. And again, the lowest numerical value has to be entered first. This time the split mode stays off for the TTF analysis. Alright. Alright. So again, validate. And this again shows the analysis. Alright, let's soft tissue. Alright. Move manually. Let me move it a little bit. Alright. So now it looks a little bit. Alright. So now it looks like this. Alright, so now we will validate it. Alright. And this is why it is important to have a very high dose for making the scan. As you can see, only the bone and air insert are recognized by the iQMetrix software. So this is why you need a very high dose scan in order for iQMetrix to be able to recognize all the 4 inserts. You only need to do this once. So then you create the JSON file with all the coordination, all the slices, and then you can apply this JSON file on all the low dose scan and make the calculation of the TTF on the low dose scans. Well, yeah, if you want to calculate one of this one insert, yeah, you can use it. But we're interested in this insert right here. This insert is the acrylic insert, but because the phantom was flipped during the scan, we have to select air in iQMetrix. But that's something I will show you right now. So we have to reselect the image. So we will select image directory. Alright. It's taking a little bit longer. Manage config file. Let me see. Alright, there it is again. ACR Phantom, select image directory. Again, in this case, we're going to select a different scan, which has a higher dose, which enables us to select the acrylic insert. One that's very good, which I recall was very good, was the Mono E. I believe this one's very good. Let me see, which slice did I use again? Again, select the slices that are very useful, and let's wait a little bit, and then I should be able to input the slices. Yes, there it is. And the other one as well. So split mode is off. Validate. Let me see. Nope. Soft tissue looks like this. Move manually. Alright, we're almost there. A little bit here. Perfect. Alright, so now it looks like this. We will validate it again. And yes, this is very good that this happened. I forgot to select the TTF part, so we need to do it again. This is my mistake. It's a typo. So make sure to select TTF, because by default NPS is selected. But good that it happened. So now I can show you what to be aware of when doing the analysis. Alright, let me see where it was again. Move manually. Alright, should be here, here. Right now it looks like this. So we can validate it. And now the magic moment, the moment where we have been waiting for. As you can see, this insert has now also been recognized by iQMetrix, and that is something what we wanted. As I mentioned before, why is it? So I guess it's loading. As I mentioned before, because the phantom was flipped around its y-axis, when we want to select this insert right here, we do not select acrylic, but we're going to select air in iQMetrix. So this is basically, this is how iQMetrix sees it. So when you select air, you will select the one on the right bottom. When you select bone, you will select the line at the top right corner. Same goes for polyethylene and acrylic. So we're going to select air, and as you can see, it should, oh wait, it's acrylic. As you see, if we select acrylic, then the one on the left bottom corner will appear blue, meaning we have selected that one. When we select air, then air should appear blue. Guess we have to wait a little bit. Air. Yes, there it is. So now air, we selected air in iQMetrix, which selects air as expected, But because the phantom is flipped, this is in reality the acrylic insert. That is something to be very careful of. Same with doing your own analysis, make sure that you always check how is your phantom displayed. Alright, save the TTF JSON file. I always like to store the JSON file in the files next to the other files with the scans, with the directories, with the scans in there. So open it, it showed save. Alright, that's good. Yes, now it is moving. Alright, so we can remove this again. Now we can start the analysis of a TTF. This looks a little bit different. Alright, let's first, I want to show you again where the TTF is stored. It is stored at the same place with the NPS, as you can see over here. You get the NPS and the TTF JSON files, so they're stored at the same location. So now we're going to select the phantom configuration file. Again, the JSON file that you just created. Make sure you select the TTF file. Open it. Open directory. Again, we can select this file and open it. So now it's asking us, well, it's waiting. After this part, it's asking us to choose an insert. We're going to select the same insert as we have selected before. So we're going to select the air insert. So if you select acrylic, you select acrylic. If you select bone, you select bone again. So we select air because we selected air again, while this is in reality acrylic. Alright, so we selected air insert. It should say yes, the insert air was chosen. Alright, now you can select the parameters. This basically has to do with the literature and with the research you are going to do, which parameters you're going to select. These are some of the parameters I prefer and I used. Alright, you can display it. And this is then how the analysis will be done of the TTF. And this is very nice to see on how the analysis is going to be done, because I will show you some other image, other scan, and to stress the importance of this part. Let us first run the calculations. You can also turn off autosave, but in this case we will turn it on. Then calculate TTF. So now we will also get a display of how the results look like. Voila, there's the TTF. Looks very nice. A very nice TTF. Alright. Now I want to do another time the calculation of the TTF, but now we're going to do batch mode. So first start batch mode. Then again select the JSON file. The correct JSON file for TTF. Open it. Open directory. This time we're going to select multiple files. Not too much. Let me just open this a little bit more. Alright, what I would like to have are these files right here. And these files right here. So we have like 50 MUS, 50 MUS, 10 MUS, 10 MUS files. Well, the numbers are not important, but this right here is important. Alright, then I will open it. Then I will run. I choose insert again. Air was chosen. Same parameters as done before. Then calculate the TTF. Alright, maybe I can do the following. Right, no. Wait, yes, here, iQMetrix again. I will let this one run in the background. Let's go again to TTF. Select phantom file. So we're going to select the exact same TTF JSON file we just created. Let us see this in here. TTF, open. We are not going to do any calculation. Alright, it's done. Alright, I will come back to that later. Open directory. Alright, so which files did we calculate? Wait, might be. So as you can see right here, this is the TTF file of this calculation right here. So we calculated, if I recall, correctly. So these are the files we calculate. This one over here, and this one the conventional one. And the 40 must is shown in here, and the mono E40 at 10 must. So now we will select one of these images. And let us say we will select this one, the conventional 10 must. Let's open it. All right. Let us do the same. Let us do the same over here. Let us open it. All right. So again, I'm opening the TTF file. I am opening a directory. I'm opening one of the directory of the previous batch mode we used for the batch mode in the TTF. One of those was this one. Open it. It should. Alright, so it states which one I opened. So in here I opened the conventional 10 must. That's fine. Choose insert. We have been using air, so we keep using air. Air was selected. Again here, choose insert. Air was selected. Air was chosen. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, batch mode should be off. That's my bad. Alright. Let us say which one was that. Let's do it again. TTF, open it up again. Alright, open directory. It was the, I believe, this one. Yes. Alright. Display. Same with the NPS. We're going to display the calculation. And let us do it right here. It's waiting. What did I calculate it? No, it's reading the file. Alright, so we did the calculation of the TTF on four scans. And now I'm going to show you why it is important to make sure that the scans are at the same position. As you can see right here, what you might not notice in the Excel file when you look at all those numbers, but what you see right here is that there was a shift in one of the scans in the phantom when making one of the scans, and this is how it looks like. So as you can see, this the indication of where the TTF should be calculated is based on the JSON file we created for the TTF. So this is based on the JSON file of the mono E120 image scan. So meaning that all those scans which were taken at that time with that phantom are correct, but because this phantom has been moved, that is the reason why that TTF, the NPS JSON file, the TTF JSON file does not match, and this will result in an incorrect analysis of the TTF measurement. So this is a very fast and simple way to check yourself if the TTF analysis is correct. If something goes wrong in your analysis after you plot it, you're like, I see a very strange outlier. I need to check the data. This is a simple way and effective way how to check the data. So this is something how you do not want to have it, and this is how you do want to have it. As you can see, it fits nice around the insert as you expect it to be. So this is something you should be very, very aware of. That when making the scans, make sure that the phantom is in the same place at the same coordination for all the scans. Otherwise, you will not be able to use batch mode in iQMetrix. So this is something I want to show. So now the final and the last step is making the analysis of the detectability index. But before I do that, I first need to run the TTF analysis. So I will be running the TTF analysis one more time on the scans we used in the beginning. So again, select TTF, open. This one, don't need this one anymore. Select we selected the TTF file, the JSON file, open directory. I believe. Did I select batch mode on? No, I did not. Alright, so now do it again. Open it. Alright, open directories. Select, I believe this were the files I selected in the beginning, maybe a little bit more, but these four are more than enough. Choose insert air awk. Select the parameters, no preset, formatable profiles, sigmoid, yes. You can select any of these parameters you want, depending on the literature you found or what kind of analysis you need. Calculate them. Right now we need to wait. So now I want to show you another important thing when doing the detectability index analysis. As I mentioned before, let me go to these scans. When you open these scans, you will see the following data: the ECF and the other data, as you can see right now. So you will get the NPS data and the TTF data. You will always get this data, even if you do the analysis individually or in batch mode on. So this is something to be aware of. So when you want to calculate the detectability index, and you ran the NPS or TTF analysis multiple times on the same scan, then I don't know what's going to happen with the detectability index, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So when you want to calculate the detectability index, you run the NPS analysis once and the TTF analysis once on the data you want to use also for the detectability index. So that in that way you are safe and you know that the detectability index only select the right files that are needed to make that analysis. I will show you what I mean in a second. So the TTF has been done. Now I will calculate. So as you can see right here, you have the ESF file and the LSF file. So this is fine. So it's 9065. So 9085, 9065, 9056. All right. So remember this. Now run the detectability index file. Open NPS detectory. Wait, I forgot one thing. Batch mode on. You can do it individually, but in this case we will do the batch mode on. Open the NPS and the TTF directory. So we'll select the files that now contain both the NPS and the TTF analysis. So open them up. Insert air. Design node. You can select which parameters you want to use for the task function. Of course, this depends on your studies and what kind of literature you found. We can use this one or other one. Extra function is often quite used. And this can display it. This is then how the stimulated signal look like. Detectability index is basically a model observer that predicts how a radiologist would observe a signal, a stimulated signal. Let me see. It should. Well, I will come back to this later. We'll start the calculation first. As you can see, the calculation of the detectability is going quite fast, because you already have the data of the NPS and TTF, so that saves some time. Display it. Still not displaying. Probably because my PC is running a little bit slow. So the same thing as for the other images, you will get an Excel file of the G prime. And as you can see here, we also have two TTF analyses, and this is the data of the D prime. So everything seems fine, but where we are going to the same analysis again, let's go to TTF. And let's do the same analysis as we just did before with the TTF JSON file. Open directories. So we select the same directories as we did before. Then open it. Choose insert air again. Then the same. Alright, calculate it. Then if we're going to the original file, let's see. 9065. Is it running again? Please wait. So it just did a conventional one. Let me just go in here. As you can see, it overrides the original TTF values. So when you do the detectability index analysis, it is based on the most recent NPS and TTF analysis you just did of the same scan. So that is something to be aware of. For now, I believe this was all you should know to run the analysis in iQMetrix. This is how to install it and how to make the NPS, TTF and the detectability analysis. And for the rest, I would say thank you all for listening and good luck with your own analysis.